Hey folks, it's Tim, aka Turbo BB. I'm currently at, I believe this is the Overpeck Park, and I'm actually on a boat dock right now. As you can see, the cameras are roughly about, I say, 20 feet away from the end of that dock there, and there's a shoreline across from here. I'm not sure about the exact distance, but I'll try to get measurements on Google Maps later. But the glittering that you see currently, that's actually the reflection of the moon off the water. So there is a moon out, but currently I've set the exposure to what I feel hopefully could capture these lights that I'm testing. I didn't bring out too many because I don't have that much time, but I do have, first off, I'm going to try out the Spark SP6. Okay, this is the Spark SP6. I'm going to bring down the beam actually lower from here. So this is shooting across again at the shoreline here. Not sure if you can really see that. It's not really coming out on the camera. Well, I actually have two cameras running right now, D7100 and the RX100. So it looks like it is being captured on the RX100. There is a reflection, I think either a trailer or something like that right there, that at least the SP6 is hitting. Then there's this bunch of trees over here. There is some, I guess, atmospheric dust, so unfortunately that's going to be captured as, you know, part of the scene. But I am going to just run across from left to right. And back at that, right here, that trailer right there with that reflector. So hopefully, again, I'll try to get the distance of that later. There is this, like, I guess, outcrop of marsh or something like that right here that I'm aiming at, but that's actually closer in distance than that trailer right there. So again, I'll try to get the distances later, but this is, at least from here, this side of the shoreline, to my eyes, I am able to illuminate that side of the creek. Now keep in mind, the Spark SP6 actually does take, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall correctly, approximately 2 minutes for it to fully warm up, so it does take some time, but still, I guess now should be sufficient enough that, you know, it has ramped up fully to be able to, like I said, get max output and hit that shoreline across from this creek here. Alright, now beam profile wise in the front, of course, if I hit it, because it is illuminated for the exposure is set for the distance, it would just overkill, right, as you can see on the dock right now. So I'm actually going to try to shoot it on the water here. As you can see, I don't know how deep that is, but definitely, you know, it's murky, so it's not like I'm penetrating. I'm in the Bahamas where you can see crystal clear waters in the sand, but still gives you kind of a good idea of what you can do if you were actually standing at the boat dock trying to illuminate the scene. So, okay, next up is going to be, okay, this one is now the Crelant 7G10. Keep in mind, this is a single large emitter pumping out about 1860 lumens, if I'm not mistaken, according to manufacturer specs. It's a neutral tint beam, so I'm going to shoot it across to the shoreline again. Wow. This actually illuminates pretty well, at least to my eyes, across at that outcrop of the marsh. I don't think it's capturing that well on the camera, but that's the trailer right there. And then finally across, it's just one sort of giant hotspot, which makes sense for this emitter, right? Because again, it is a single humongous large die emitter. Throw wise, it's pretty good. I would say probably the Spark SP6 was maybe a little bit better, but at least up close though, because I don't know what it is, because again, like I said, probably that fat hot spot, it does eliminate a wide swath of area as compared to SP6. SP6 was a little bit more focused than this. Okay, and now illuminating at the dock. Like I said, this is a neutral tint. This color that I'm seeing is fairly close to on the camera as to what I'm seeing in real life. It's just a really, really nice, gorgeous neutral color. shoot it out again to the across the creek. Now keep in mind, unfortunately this is not going to be the greatest, right? My camera has its limitations. This is already at ISO 1600. If I bump it up anymore, the noise would just absolutely destroy this video. I mean, it's already pretty cruddy as it is, but hopefully it does give you some idea of, you know, what these lights can do. Okay. Next up I have Nitecore's TM26. Now currently this is on 3 lumens. I'm just shining around the dock. You could probably see it right here. That's the lowest setting. Now it's 95 lumens, 540, 1700, and let me go ahead and pump this up to max. So now we got 3500 lumens, okay? I'm going to go ahead and shoot this across the dock. It's likewise, as with the MTG2, this probably actually shoots a wider swath of light across, as you can probably see, hopefully. That's the trailer right there. Probably less of an intense central hotspot, but man, it casts just a huge swath of light that really just illuminates a wide path, at least at that side of the pond. Given this is really the kind of sweet spot, I guess, where it truly, at least on camera, that you can see, I'm going to stick around here between this outcrop of the marsh here and that trailer right there with that reflector. And now in an overhand grip on the kind of like the surrounding boat dock area. Well, on the waters again, because I don't want to overwhelm the camera. And then one more time out across overhand grip. Oops, bumped that a little. Overhand grip to the other side. Okay, last but not least, we got, at least in my current collection, the king of throw. This is ThruNite TN31. This is the very original version, still using standard XML U2 emitter. I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. So this is just pure throw, pure awesomeness in throw. As you can see, just illuminates that with the intense hotspot. There's a tree right here in front of these outcrop that is just illuminating clearly, at least to my eyes. Not sure if you're able to see that, but I do think I am capturing this correctly on the movie. On the video. There's that trailer. I'm gonna park it here for a second so you could get a clear look. Sorry for the shakiness, I'm literally on the dock and the dock's just rocking back and forth right now. Then finally, there are these outcrop of trees here. And so with the TN31, obviously it's a much tighter beam. You're looking at a concentrated focus beam where you do eliminate the central hotspot pretty well, but like I said, then you don't get that nice broad swath of light. But man, can this thing throw. I mean, it's no wonder that this has remained a favorite of throwers and modders alike for quite a while now. Sorry, throw lovers, I should say, and modders. And now, okay, fine, into an overhand grip around the boat dock area. As you can see, this is more of just a very intense hot spot. Very, I wouldn't even say pencil beam then, because those are really the XREs, but still, compared to the other lights that I just showed you, this is a very intense hotspot. And this probably would penetrate the waters a little better, but again, I don't know how deep that is, A, and B, how, well, it's really murky, so. And finally, overhand, out across the shore, creek. So, to that tree right there, and to the marshes, and then back on that trailer, across the shoreline there, and back again to that tree. Alright, so fortunately not the best video, but it's the best I can do under these circumstances and the time constraints given. So Flash, I heard you, man. Like I said, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get out more beam shots outdoors and whatnot, but again, hopefully this will give you a good idea of what these lights can do. Okay, I've now turned the cameras around roughly about 90 degrees or so from the shore. This is now pointing much closer to the shoreline on this side of the creek. I'm currently illuminating the scene with a Lighten 7 Elite S1A, just to give you a rough idea. So I'm on the boat dock. This is, you know, again, the shoreline. You can see the rocks are now here. There's a whole bunch of fish in there actually that you see flip-flopping around right there. Then of course that's the shoreline right here with the marshes, a whole bunch of trees that should hopefully be a very nice target for the lights now. So without further ado, let's get on to the lights. Okay, so first up is the Spark SP6. Let's go ahead and aim it over the water first, just to show you the penetration capability. Then close to these rocks. So as compared to what I'm seeing in real life, the exposure on the RX100 is a little bit overexposed. This is a bit brighter than what I'm witnessing. Well, slightly. But there's this first tree up here. Then there's that second tree. Again, I'll try to get distances later on Google Maps because I have no idea. I'm guesstimating, I don't know, 60 feet away maybe. And finally there's this huge tree out there, the last of the outcrop here. Guesstimating that's roughly about 200 feet away or so. And then down to these marshes and shoreline here, which I'm guesstimating maybe, I don't know, 300 feet, let's just say. But like I said, let me go and get estimates later, Google Maps. So again, I'm going to park it on each tree for a little while, so that way when you want to compare, you could freeze at each line. This is Spark SP6. That's the tallest tree before it hits the marshes in the background. This is another tree here. Another tree. And finally down the marshes here. The shoreline. And you can see the glimmer, the shimmer I should say, or whatever, that's being cast off of the water directly onto those trees in the background, but there's a whole bunch of fish in there. Alright, and then finally these marshes close by here. Next up we have Creland's 7G10. First off nearby into the water here. And again, it's just that nice neutral tint. So what I'm seeing on the camera, again, it's very close to what it is in real life color-wise. And again, as I mentioned, output-wise, it's slightly overexposed, but not too bad. So first off, I'm going to pop up into this tree here. Now, despite being a giant emitter, the 7G10 still features pretty decent throw. It's actually, like I said, it's a nice jumbo hotspot, but compared to, let's just say, before the Spark SP6, I would say it's a little bit tighter actually. But I don't know, I mean, it's what I'm seeing in real life versus what's being captured on camera may be a little bit different, so we'll see when I get home. But and finally, let me fire to that last tree up there. And then out to the distance over there, the shoreline. So back amongst the marshes here. Back into the water there. Rocks. Marsh. Next up we have Nitecore's TM26. It's full blast. I had to be careful aiming this thing because there is a road there, so I want to make sure I don't shine this into driver's eyes. But that's that second tree, third tree, fourth tree. As you can see, it's just a giant beam of illumination, man. Just pure raw output. That's that last tree at the treetops right now. And then finally out to the distance there. Back amongst the shoreline. Just park here for a second. Returning back into the waters. Check out that reflection off the water, man. Rocky outpost. And this is definitely overexposed right now. Back to the marsh. Okay. Last but not least, we have ThruNite's TN31. So again, this is just, like I said, very, very nice, tight, pure incarnate pretty much, you could say. But at the same time though, of course, you do lose that nice flood. It's into the marshes here. First tree. As you can see, I'm just not illuminating too much, but whatever I am illuminating, it's just an intense hotspot on it. Okay, that's the third tree top right there. Fourth tree. And then finally the fifth tree top. And then let's go ahead and get this out there to the marshes. As you can see, whatever is out there, I'm able to easily hit and identify. I'm going to run this back along the shoreline, the creek line. So, in the case of the TN31, while it is, of course, a pure thrower, but as you're seeing, if you were spotting something, of course, whatever is directly in the light, very nice, even off to the far distance here. I can make out pretty well what I'm looking at, even at this distance. But then again, like I said, if you were quickly scanning something and you wanted just a wide swath of light, obviously, this isn't it. Like I've always said, it's horses for courses, right? It really depends on what your needs are, but man, for a pure thrower, it's just fantastic. Alright, back out to the rocks and the marshes. Alright, that concludes this test. Again, hopefully I'll be able to get more lights out for testing next time, but in the meanwhile, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Thanks again for watching.